Okay, so hello everybody. I need to stick to some notes here because after all I found out that I talk about stuff like that hours and hours. So I try to shorten that. Okay, the internet, like so many things, has its starting point in the United States, and this starting point lies far in the past. So in the mid of 1960s, the system, a very academic system, was built up, and it tries to make communication between computer networks. In the 70s and 80s, 1970s and 1980s, some professors, some students tried to experiment with this new kind of network. So afterwards, it was called the internet. But in the end of the 1980s, people or some scientists at the European the European Research Center in CERN, I have a picture of them. In CERN, they are very, very confused, and they wanted to get a system where they can get all the information, keep all the information together. And that was very difficult across computer boundaries. And the solution at that time was the creation, as we all know it, the World Wide Web. So with the browser, with the internet links, and with a description language, as we all know that under the name HTML. And then different countries and users were added to this academic internet. And from that point on, it promised some kind of commercial success even for companies. And that is where all the things started. And then, after that, search engines as the central switching points began to focus on making information findable in this more and more crowded internet. And after that, if you remember, maybe some of you remember the dot-com bubble. Yeah, the dot-com bubble, the crash of the stock market, made the people think about earning money or to go under. And that was what Google started to think about. Yeah? It was a company of freaks and geeks. And afterwards, they need to make money. And that is the time when we see making real stuff, making real Google applications, for example. A few years later, BlackBerry and later Apple and Android enabled the internet to go. And from many refer to this time as, some of you may remember, some of them refer to this time as the beginning of the cell phone age. So now computational power was available on your smartphone, and you can carry this power with you. And the reason for the success was the outsourcing of computational power, of computational intensive logic to remote servers. Yeah, most of them who using this stuff didn't know. Yeah, but most of the stuff it was outsourced. And the user experience in that time was very high, was very good, despite the small device. And gradually, these services conquer the desktop again. People were now talking about, and now I hope I got you all. People talk about cloud computing when they use external, some kind of external servers, external computer applications. And using external memory and computing power was now manageable for many people. We all know that from the next cloud or whatever, yeah, from all this stuff. And actually quite old era, in the quite old branch of computer networks, that was the development of an artificial neural networks, then came in or was received special attention again. The now available incredible power made it possible to do this not only theoretically but quite practically. And from if you remember this this idea of making great artificial neural networks, the inner logic is very roughly speaking borrowed from brain cells, and this was borrowed from brain cells, and therefore it's colloquially called artificial intelligence, yeah, as most of us know as AI. And this was, in the first time, people used this for autonomous driving or for face recognition, but more and more it becomes clear that this kind of logic, this artificial logic, can be used for things like imitating human behavior. And you all know these applications like Siri, like Alexa, like Cortana, and this makes this visible. Yeah? But these services do not concentrate on real systems like you use every day. But and you all hopefully read that. Then there was a service, or the ChatGPT as the service introduces this human-machine interface for the first time to a very for the first time as a dialogue system to a wide and very surprised audience. And this system does not only converse, but has great trained knowledge, yeah, knowledge like Google or like any search engine. It behaves towards the user as an omniscient friend who will, if at all, only very kindly disagrees. The first who grasped this potential of this system were pupils and students. And why? The clear tasks for almost all subjects can now be solved quickly and amazingly carefully with such a dialogue system like ChatGPT. And the only question is, how should learning look like in the future? So that is a thing of another task, of another presentation. So, but in programming, for example, many standard tasks, believe me, standard tasks, not development in areas like embedded or so. Yeah, many standard tasks, making a website, whatever, can be solved quickly and easily with such system. developers who take advantage of such tools generate much more output with this help, with this tool. But those companies who use, and that is sociological stuff, but those companies who use this freed up time to cut stuff and to transfer old work to just the ones who are left, ignore a broader approach, ignore a broader upheaval in the economy, characterized by burnout, by the will for better work-life balance, or something like a shortage of skilled workers, yeah, as we all know it, mostly in developed countries. Despite the use of relieving modern technologies, many people feel overwhelmed. After all, the new technology must be mastered. Understanding new solutions as a relief requires good knowledge and a very routine procedure. Those who use such systems need a very well orchestrated team, a lot of people skills, and empathy. And so in many cases, machine knowledge is not central. A change in the way we work to solve complex problems is needed. Yeah, as we all remember from the past, the discussion about calculators, the discussions of Wikipedia. 0 Minuten. My last things. A split in development may be in the offing. Those who take help from a system like GPT will pay for it. But in return, he becomes much more productive and saves a lot of time and work. All other players without access to this resource continue or work without the help, or he will work with a limited edition. So therefore, the final question, should software development run in this direction? Yeah. So, but believe me, there's so much more to tell. If you like, just drink a beer with me tonight, and we will discuss later many more things. Thank you.
My question is, we have seen the uses of this AI as an assistant to developers, but if the goal is to help software development or engineering at all, I didn't see yet this technology at least filling the gaps that we humans have when it comes to development software. I mean maintenance, creation of well-behaved abstractions, for example. Do you have any signs of AI being able to fill these gaps? And also including, for example, the communication between teams that provides lack of good optimizations, for example. Do we have any signs of AI filling these gaps that are mostly the bottlenecks to the development of high-quality software?
So, yeah, you're quite right. So that is what I mean with standard tasks. Standard tasks can be solved. It's not optimization or something. It's not a standard task. But what I think is using Stack Overflow today as a developer will be, you don't need something like that anymore. Yeah, if you use something like a ChatGPT or whatever dialogue system, dialogue service. So in the end, it is only special information that can be handled by people, by people who really know what they do, and not by AI. But AI can help you a lot if you have standard tasks like create a website with input and output, and I want to have a database in it, and I want to connect both, and so on and so on. And you don't have to program all that and make error findings and things like this, I guess, for the future. So, but the difficult thing is, what I think is very difficult is, what we keep in mind is that if you have such a system or such a dialogue service that helps you, you have to pay for it. And in the end, we all need to know about these tools, or we work without these tools and are poor people that never have the chance to make some great devices. Yeah, sorry, long.
Thank you very much, Jörn. And without further ado, we will switch over without a little pause this time to keep the schedule.